Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Make plans to attend the Nebraska Whiskey Carnival this Saturday at Sideshow Spirits in Lincoln. This unique one-day festival highlights Nebraska distilleries, local vendors, and chill music. A general admission ticket gets you a custom tasting glass and free samples from the distillery booths. Food trucks will be on site to sell food and snacks, and cigars will be available for purchase. Get your tickets today at SideshowSpirits.com. It's the Whiskey Carnival this Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. at Sideshow Spirits at 16th and P.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Father's Day is coming soon, and you know what that means. Backyard parties and lots of grilling. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? A dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning keep you ready all grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so your grill can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
Bagels & Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, this is the Don't Punt Hour. We don't have DeMornay Pierson-El in here quite yet. Hopefully he will join us shortly. But I do got DP in here tonight on a ticket weeknight.
There we go.
There we go. You're on 3.
We're rolling.
You're on
baby.
3. We're rolling.
We're rolling. Yeah, no, it's
keeping it going.
Well, that's the way it works. Is next one up, and there's plenty to talk about. If you want to carry the interesting side of what happens this time of year. So Women's College World Series, you've actually got the final pair. You've got College World Series down to the final 8. Trying to figure out which 4 end up in Omaha next week for the College World Series. NHL, Stanley Cup Finals, NBA Finals. You have the final pair matchup. And then a really good week of UFC back to back. So, yeah, it's it's pretty good times.
Yeah.
Not plus, there's the Battle in the Boneyard where the young folks get to come into town and
excited for that one.
Show their value, and that it has to be said that way. Show your value.
Yeah.
Show your value. But for you? What of all of those things? What's the biggest thing for you?
I'm really, really psyched up about the Battle of the Boneyard. I'm really psyched up about
Tell
that.
me why. Tell me why.
Free event.
Okay.
I mean, some of the best high school players in the country are going to be in the house.
Some of the best?
Probably the best, right? I think
you know that other recruiting camps are going on at the very same time.
Like in Lincoln, yeah?
No.
Or just around the country?
Everywhere in the country.
We got some of the best, though. There's a lot of good guys out there. Come on now. I think Carricker told me
I happen to know that Ohio State, Notre Dame, Alabama, Georgia are all having events. So, I get that. So are there names that got you excited? Are there certain players who are coming to town that you're aware of?
I actually don't know a lot about it. Yeah, see, I get what you're saying.
That's my point. Is that?
But that psychs me up a little bit more because I don't know who's out there, but I know that they're going to probably ball out.
Here's my thing with that. That it's necessary
True.
To see people measured up, and you want to see who pops, who stands out. You've already got some existing relationship with the players that are coming. That's why they're here. I know that not everybody invited is coming, and not everybody who is coming is elite. But I also know that the separation and the weeding process is necessary. So it's a chance to see who pops. Individual coaching groups, the leaders will have their eyes on the collective talent. Sometimes there's a crossover where there may be a tight end that pops as a receiver. There may be a receiver that pops as a runner. That would be a good thing to ask DeMornay about in the recruiting process, is how that separates and how that divides. But you want to see quarterbacks and how the ball gets off their hand, how much anticipation is in play, all of that stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be – I don't know how many people they're expecting, though. I don't know what that is. I really,
yeah, that's what I'm interested about.
Through the work and for the fan base, an opportunity to be in the building. And Husker fans always love being at Memorial whenever there's some football activity going on. So since they missed out on spring game, that this involvement certainly will matter. And it's a big opportunity for them to look. But yeah, it happens all over the country. For Nebraska, making the jump from a non-bowl game program to a bowl game team, and then trying to turn the program into a perennial bowl game program. This is where some of the difference. The transfer portal certainly matters, and as you and I were talking about earlier, that a quicker way to add talent in this day and age is through the transfer portal and through NIL. But you still have to have, as the Major League Baseball would tell you, you have to have some development in play and some young talent in the room as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So the other side of it is that I was asked today where the ticket stood on hockey. And here's the thing. I mean, we do a lot with the Stars. I'm a hockey fan. I'm an NHL fan. I go all the way back to the days of when there were 8 teams. I watched the game of the week on NBC back in the late 60s, early 70s, when Montreal was king. The Flyers then took over the Broad Street Bullies, the Bruins and the great Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito and that crew. Montreal had the Mahavlovich brothers, Ken Dryden between the pipes. And because it was so concentrated, the talent was so concentrated, because there just weren't, think about that. Whatever the roster size was in the 60s and 70s, you didn't have 32 teams. You didn't have just this endless supply of talent. You literally had the best, 150 players in the world playing in the NHL. And now it's the thing. But an interesting thing has happened, and we want to point it out, that I know the guys from Early Break always, it gets frustrating to them because the hockey capital of the world is now Florida.
That's insane to me.
Is now Florida. And the idea that the NHL and Canada needs for Edmonton to win the Stanley Cup. They need a Canadian champion. They need for those diehard legend fans, those folks who have been a fan of the sport. But Tampa and the Tampa Lightning and the Florida Panthers have found a niche. And no, it doesn't have the external beauty of being in a hockey kingdom, right? There's not snow outside as you find your way into it. And yeah, that people are going into this air-conditioned arena where it's 85 to 90 degrees outside, but you're playing a sport on ice, and you've got to manage that. But Florida and Tampa have figured out how to make this thing work. And it's a real marketing sort of circle question mark. Is this good for hockey? Is it good for development?
Yeah.
Is it good for the fan base? And yes, Florida, California, Texas, Las Vegas have all, listen, you have to be careful from a marketing standpoint that, my goodness. On the other side, in the NBA, they have similar marketing issue because, wait a minute, Indiana and Oklahoma, those aren't marketing meccas. Those aren't media meccas. They're not. We don't have the history in Oklahoma, in OKC. I always find it fascinating because when you think of OKC Thunder, do you think of Oklahoma or do you think of Seattle?
I mean, yeah. I'll let Demorne chime in here too. We do have Demorne in here now.
DP, what's happening, baby?
How's it going?
Yeah, it's the weird marketing thing, right? That the Pacers went through their evolution as a organization because the Pacers were an ABA franchise. They were they weren't even a part of the original NBA package. They were the ABA George McGinnis, Donnell Hillman, Indiana Pacers, who piggybacked in with Dr. J and the New Jersey Nets to come into the NBA, and then they had to hold on. Thank goodness for Reggie Miller and Rick Smits, who make them interesting, but they don't have that championship pedigree. Neither does OKC. So, DeMornay, bro, like what are we watching for the next 7 games? In that it's the Thunder and the Pacers.
It's intriguing. I mean, because when you say thinking about OKC, I mean, I always go back to the Sonics.
Yep.
You know, I think of Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, like, you know, old school Kevin Durant and everything like that. I mean, that history will always be tied to them. It's going to be an intriguing matchup because the Pacers, they are who they are, but they're unorthodox. I mean, they are. You know, they, for whatever reason, you know, they keep showing up, they keep getting by and everything like that. And it's like you kind of watch to see, like, okay, well, how are they going to come back from this one tonight? And I've said, you know, with Harrison over the last few weeks, to me, OKC is just boring. Like it's not exciting. At least, you know, with Joker and Denver and Murray and them, that was some type of excitement. With the Knicks, you had Brunson and his kind of clutchness and everything. Like I felt like every other organization that was probably in the playoffs, maybe outside of one or two other teams, kind of have a signature. Neither one of these teams really have a signature.
Well, okay, so DP, I know that I know a lot of people don't know how much of a hooper you are, right? Like they don't know that that round ball, as good as you were as a kick returner and wide receiver, you were an absolute dog on the court.
Appreciate that.
People tend to root for people who represent them in how they play. So I'm a little bit surprised because you were an elite defensive player. And it didn't matter who you were defending. You were just a dog. That speaks to OKC to me. That what they do better than anybody else is take away what you think you're really good at. Is that fair?
That's a fair statement for sure.
So don't you as a dog, don't you root for dogs? Like you don't necessarily need the fly above the rim players to root for. You root for guys who get in your jersey, who get in your short, who take your dominant hand away and move you off spots on the floor.
I like that with OKC, but OKC has been deemed, oh, they're going to win it and everything like that. To be honest, I like Indiana. I mean, with Halliburton and what they got going, he's not supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be there. So, you know, it doesn't look what it's supposed to look like. Like I do like, you know, what OKC does as a team defensively. You know, they're very, very active. They take away things. They impose their will and whatnot. It's not really flashy. It can be flashy at times and whatnot, but, you know, they come in and handle business. But, you know, they've been deemed, you know, the number one team. They've been, the number one team the past 2 seasons.
Uh-huh.
So you kind of, your respect is kind of already right then and there. Indiana doesn't have that respect. They're kicking indoors, stomping on people's couches and everything like that. So that sticks to me a little bit more so than going with OKC and everything like that because it's the underdog and it's okay. Now I don't. It's not given to me. I got to go here and take it. So I like the stories and the grittiness of Indiana, and it's because nobody's picking them. Nobody.
Well, but there's a reason. Well, there's several reasons, right? Like, okay, we can fully engage that Shea is the best player in the league for the last 2 years. Fair?
Yeah, sure. I'll agree with it.
Okay. That in the two meetings between the Pacers and the Thunder, Shea was not only heads above everyone, he was heads and shoulders above everyone else. He had his best offensive nights against the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
How does Indiana figure out how to make the best player in the game not even the best player on the floor?
I think it might be a combination of things.
Okay.
And not to kind of piggyback off of what teams have done with like Ant with sending two.
Uh-huh.
But okay, with the starting five of OKC out there, I think you have to kind of you have to make him uncomfortable. He can't just walk down the court and get to a certain spots and kind of get in a rhythm. You gotta get Shea, you gotta get him irritated, flustered, frustrated, get him out of him being smooth. I think that's the first step.
Okay.
Now, whether that's denying him the ball, he's not the first person to touch the ball. I think that is something that, again, to get him irritated, you got to work to get the ball. You can't just walk up the court and just think, you can get to your spots, you can get comfortable and everything like that. Make him spend a little bit more energy than he usually has. Then once you kind of get into the front court and everything like that, out of that starting five, who are you okay with going off or having a good night to where Shea is in check? You keep Shea for real. You keep Shea in check. You have a standing chance. If
you have
Shea's
a fighting
going,
chance. But this is what we would always say, that if I'm forcing the Pacers' best player to be out of his mind good defensively, the problem for the Pacers is if Halliburton has to expend that energy, he's prone to taking games off, entire games, when he's been asked to defend in the previous game for a full 36 minutes. Not 40 minutes, 36 minutes of him in a matchup. And, oh, by the way, who does Indiana have that when Shea gives the ball to Pascal, who then steps up and says,
J. Williams for OKC?
I'm okay. So you're going to double Shea.
Okay.
And then you have two 7-footers who really like playing together and who really play well off each other in space, right? So you have the tether in Hartenstein, and then you have Chet, who runs the floor and punishes anybody who peeks at Shea or Pascal.
But with Hartenstein, he's not a Shaq. He
doesn't have to be.
But I'm saying he's not giving you 25, 30, 10, and 15. You know what I'm saying? So again, like I said, to get the ball out of Shea's hand, we've seen Indiana win with Tyler getting 20 points. I think the game 7, he had 21, 23 points. Yep. We've seen them win. So even if it takes off of the offensive side, all you got to do is average or get 20 points, Tyler, and slow down Shea or give us a fighting chance with Shea. Now, Siakam, we're gonna need you to step some things up and you to be an uncontrollable menace. But we've seen Indiana be successful with Tyler having an off game or not being the leading scorer and everything like that. We're not asking you to get 30, 35 plus, not necessarily from you. So if you slow down Shea or you expend extra stuff, extra energy with making sure Shea is not attacking downhill, getting to his spots, getting comfortable and everything like that. Again, out of the next 5, okay, who are you sending that double team from? Is it the big man, which we can live with that? I mean, that's a fighting chance. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying just give it to him necessarily even, but I'll play with that rotation and then making, an extra pass to get or work or making them work harder to get, an easy 2 or a contested 2 or a contested 3 versus Shea just getting to his spot, and he giving you 30, and he's the heartbeat of the team, and now everybody's going downhill. It's a snowball effect with that. I'll take my chances with him not having or getting started or whatnot, and we'll figure out who's the double team coming from, or who else outside of Shea is gonna match those points.
Here's where the numbers stand up and why so many people have gone full on OKC Thunder. That the best player in the game against the team that they're going to compete 7 nights with, the first 2 nights in OKC, so he's going to play at home with the hype crowd, that he averaged 39. We're not talking about him averaging 29 or 21. We're talking about he averaged 39 and 8 assists and 7 rebounds and got to the free throw line 12 times a game against Indiana. And, oh, by the way, he hit 7 threes. Both. Like it.
It's just not one particular part. It's a whole game. His whole arsenal.
He hit him with the left, the right, kicked him in the chin, and then elbowed him on the top of the forehead. That's how good Shea was against the Pacers in the 2 games this year. And, oh, by the way, Halliburton was not good against OKC. And I think depth-wise, remember, the Knicks beat the Celtics. They weren't at 100%. They beat, listen, I have full appreciation for them figuring out how to beat the Knicks, to get Brunson. But Shea is not Brunson. Shea affects, if he's going to help you get 8 additional buckets off the dish, that to me is the number. He's going to get his 30 plus against the Pacers. My question is, if he is above 5 in assists, the Pacers don't have a way against the best defense in the league. And that's the part. The Thunder are so long and so connected defensively that an Indiana team is going to have to get. Remember, we haven't even got to Nesmith, and we haven't gotten to the guys who are a problem anyway. We're just talking about the best defensive team in the NBA. And I'm fascinated that DPE is going Pacers, because I would have thought that defender mentality is, man.
I'm going with the underdogs. I mean, everybody's barking with OKC and everything like that and whatnot, man. Sometimes it takes those people to where, they don't expect us. It's kind of all of us, in this room that believes, and you come out there, you might shock them. How many times? I mean, we've seen it this season with the Knicks shocking Boston, the first 2 games at home in Boston, winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We seen it with Indiana, with Cleveland.
Yeah.
Winning 2 games on their floor. So it's not like, it hasn't been done. They have a recipe. This is a different monster and beast. But again, I mean, if OKC kind of comes out there overlooking it and everything, we good because more battle tested and everything like that, or plays into that. Now they typically have it. You know what I mean? But I mean, everybody's human. It can happen. You can kind of, we got this team. We've beaten them 2 times before this season. We at home and whatnot. All you got to do is give Indiana an inch. You give them some type of inspiration. You leave the door open and everything like that, and they're a pack of hyenas. They on you.
I wish.
It might not look the best way, but a win is a win. You take an ugly win versus a good loss. And that's anybody.
I don't think they get swept, but I just over 7 games, man, I would be tired of seeing them hands and arms in my passing lane on the ball leaning on me, man. For 7 games, I don't want to face them dudes, bro, but that's just me. All right, Jackson, get us to break, bro.
All right, we'll go ahead and take our first break. Don't go anywhere more. Don't Punt Hour when we return.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Your Nebraska Lottery announces the 2025 NASCAR Powerball Playoff. And it's a great way to get on track for a chance to win $1,000. From May 27th to June 23rd, buy $2 of Powerball, enter the voucher number online, and you could be one of 20 winners of $1,000 and a chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Roar into any Nebraska Lottery retailer and buy $2 of Powerball today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwieso.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Early break.
I'm not a dog expert. No, it's not. I don't mind dog. I'm not a dog expert, though.
He does talk to chickens, though. It's very endearing.
Talked to another chicken this past week.
Talk to chickens.
What was that? Do it again.
With Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Father's Day is coming soon, and you know what that means. Backyard parties and lots of grilling. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? A dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning keep you ready all grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so your grill can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock number is G121492. G1-87747 and G1-96599.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, Pierson-El.
All right, we're back with the Don't Punt Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket. Got DP in here on a Ticket Weeknights, but I also do have your host, as always, Mr. Pierson-El, streaming in.
DP, let me ask you, bro. It's always fascinating to me that we spend so much time and energy on recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
So on a night like this, like how many different recruiting camps did you go to? Visits did you go to before you decided on Nebraska?
Camps, I mean, things are done a little bit different. Like, I'm not too sure. I'm sure you are familiar, with the rival 300.
Yep.
The different rival regionals, the Under Armour top 150s.
Yep.
So I'm not so sure. Like that was originally like how you kind of got noticed and kind of caught up with some stuff. There wasn't every now and then certain schools would have like camps. Like I remember coming up, like Ohio State had a camp, Michigan, had a camp, and everything like that. Virginia Tech. Not all universities would have a camp, and for me it was different. So I of course I went to all the invitationals to be ranked, in the state and across the world. I didn't go to too many college camps. Just because, I mean, if you interested or whatnot, just throw the offer. Like now, a lot of I'm not, my fan. We're not driving all the way down to Florida State, hitting all of these camps because y'all just want me to you want to see me in person. Either send your coach out, come to a spring game, come to our spring practice and everything like that. So I mean, I went to a few. I'm not gonna say I didn't. I probably hit. Every off season, probably anywhere from 3 to 6, college camps, and then, another three or four, invitationals. You got your rivals. I know they still do the opening. So certain things to kind of get to the opening and stuff like that. But so, I mean, I would say anywhere from 7 to 9 camps are off season.
So through all of it, right, that you had to get, and again, we were talking about it earlier, Jackson and I were talking about it on an earlier hour, that a big part of it is the work, right? So it's all the stuff. You have to have the academics in order. You have to have coaches sign for you. You have to have good resume or work and all those things. How did you get, do you remember what your ranking was in the state of Virginia and then nationally? Do you remember?
Off the top of my head, I think in the state, I was probably like in the top 20 in the state, probably. Athlete wise, I think it was probably closer to like the top 10. Nationally, I think I was like in the top 100 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, or like 120. So I mean, the numbers weren't terrible, but I mean, and then you go everywhere else, and everybody, like all the other different sites, have their own rankings and whatnot. Back then, the rivals rankings was kind of like what you went off of. So I mean, top 20 in state, top 120 probably in the nation for an athlete.
And that you were for programs that were looking for either returners, athletes, or receivers, that in order for Nebraska to get eyes on and ears on Pierson-El at what wasn't a football factory in West Potomac High School, it took some work. Like it took some high level production for you to get seen by the people that saw you. So
for sure,
in that space, how good, if you're talking to, let's say you're talking to the top 50 players in the state of Nebraska, and of that top 50, not all of them are skill position guys, right? So let's say that 7 of them are receivers, returners, defensive backs. How good do they have? Do those receivers and skill players have to be in Nebraska to be considered Power 4? Power 4 worthy of a look, a scholarship, an offer?
I mean, I think so. The biggest thing with like Nebraska looking at them is just you have to kind of rank against the rest of like they kind of overlook things. I feel like this is just my own personal opinion. But time and time again, I mean, even from when I was, in school or whatnot, Nebraska has always produced athletes. Athletes have gone to that have been right here in their backyard. They've gone to other places and performed and got drafted and everything like that. So it's definitely here. They definitely can work or whatnot. Now, they're depending on what your ranking is in the state and everything like that. I mean, you kind of take that with a grain of salt. But the guys, that are ranked here and everything like that, I would say, go to St. Louis, go to Chicago, go to Tulsa, go to Texas and everything like that. Those type of camps and everything like that, and represent and show up there and everything like that. And that'll do all the talking for you.
How much of the conversation in recruiting was it based on the system that you ran or the position you played in high school? So when Nebraska comes through, or Virginia Tech, or whoever it was, right? The system that you played in and the coach that you played for, how important was that? Wasn't that a part of, what, we think this guy's coachable, we think he'll fit in our system? How important was that to them? And then how important was it to you?
For them, obviously, I mean, the offers were hard to come by. So at some point in time, like, yes, you would have to fit. They would have to think, you can excel within, 2 years tops, probably. Because I mean, each and every year they bring in your replacement. I mean, that's just what it is. So at some point in time, your skill set and the tangibles that athletes bring, clearly, you're at least 1 or 2 in that position within 2 years to either be the starter or be a rotational player. For me, I mean, fit was the most important part. I played, multiple positions in high school, so nobody really knew, what I kind of wanted to play, and everybody was kind of filling things out and whatnot. So I mean, I knew what I wanted. I knew certain things that I was looking for or whatnot. So when certain colleges came around, we see you as, more so on the defensive side. Okay, cool. I'm not interested really in you. Okay,
Thank you.
Come around. I mean, I didn't tell them that, and but I mean, I knew in my ranking, it's like, okay, I'm not necessarily looking, kind of what y'all got going on. Coming out of high school, I really wanted to go to West Virginia. West Virginia they had the shorter receivers coming in. I mean, between them and Maryland, they had the shorter receivers coming in. They were putting them out in space, giving the ball quickly and allowing them to, them be athletes. So that was, really, really big. Having a quarterback that was accurate, having a quarterback that can, a diverse offense. If they, run the ball a lot with QB sneaks or, QB sweeps and powers and everything like that, again, that opens up, me, because, you can pull and run and give somebody a bubble screen. Now I got, instead of, the whole defensive flowing to me, they didn't went to after the quarterback. I got 1 or 2 guys I can go. So for me, definitely the system, how I want to play and everything like that, because I mean, the goal was to get to the NFL, whether that's in 3 years or whether that's in 4. that was the goal. So what was the best system that, gave me the best chance to show the NFL that I could play and belong there?
In that conversation, so much of it choosing Nebraska and then you deciding that this was going to be place, something has to be said. Like something had to be said for you to say, yep.
Something had to be shown.
That's the place. Like Nebraska's the place. What was it?
When I came out here for Big Red Weekend, I think Nebraska was like my 7th offer, but I think they were like my 3rd offer for a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you remember, and everybody was going down to North Carolina from the region, and North Carolina was on me heavy, Caleb and everybody.
Yep.
But when I came out to Nebraska, I came out for Big Red Weekend. They had other athletes that was ranked higher as an athlete and in the nation, than me and whatnot. And they just showed me love. They really wanted me. They had a plan for me and everything like that. I think everybody else was like in a panel talking to the coaches or talking to the advisors. They had me in there watching film. So I was watching at the time Jamal Turner, Westy. I was watching. That particular spot. They was like, this is what we want to do, and then it's an open battle for a returner. We'll give you, an option if you can handle things or whatnot. We'll play you. I mean, I was watching film for 45 minutes to an hour and a half. But the thing that really, did it after watching film and whatnot, I went to at the time, Rich Fisher, Coach Fish. He was like, yeah, you're our number one guy. But we're taking, whoever commits first. And I was like, I'm not your number one guy. He was like, no, we are. I'll take you to the war room and I'll show you. And I'm like, you won't. And he proceeded. He did. And when I went in there, all their number one guys was in red. So for me, it's like, okay, y'all didn't show me. You've shown me where you want me to play. I've seen the level of competition of the guys that are in there, and I feel like I can compete with them. You're giving me an opportunity to win a starting role for return for special teams. You're not saying we're giving it to Kenny, we're not giving it to Westy. Look, if you can come here and you can do it, you'll be out there, okay? And I mean, you didn't lie. You said I was the number one guy. So, they kind of put their money where their mouth was, and that's all I needed to know was just having a place believing and giving me a fair shot. If you allow me to walk out there, I mean, I knew what my capabilities was. The rest was going to be history.
It's just funny, right? That I'm not sure that it plays out that way if this was in today's recruiting.
It's a lot harder.
It's a lot of. Here's the question for you, Jackson. Do we need to go to break, or do you want to stay here for another? Let's stay here for a couple because I want to ask you this question. Yeah. If this was in today's environment, do you think Nebraska would go transfer portal or high school senior to fill need especially at a skill position? Because I'm not sure that a high school senior who isn't the top guy at the position in the country for that program gets in and gets the opportunity you got back then. I think if they needed somebody, if they needed a DPE, they would have gone in the transfer portal and gotten him rather than you as a high school senior. What do you think?
Is this with the 105 restrictions or without?
This is with the 105 and with NIL and money.
If you want things to be more successful and everything like that, I think, and to make sure stuff is covered, I think that unless you have a high school guy that you absolutely love, and it's like, no, he's going to be the guy for 3 to 4 years, and I'd rather just have him, there, or if it wasn't the 105, I think they would do both. They would get a freshman guy, hey, you get out there for 4, you can play in 3 or 4 games and before you can redshirt. So they will put him out there to see how he is and everything like that. Okay, cool, fine and dandy. Now we got you experience, but we got this one guy here that is going to do it for the season. After he's gone, you'll take over coming next year. But if, like I said, outside of the 105, I think the best bet is, I mean, you might even go to FCS and get you a returner down there.
Yep.
And just, plug and play. Because, I mean, regardless, we've seen kickers lose and win games in the past 5-6 years. We've seen, field position, win and lose games, probably the past 10 years, put me back in in that. I mean, it's been times, we've missed field goals. We've missed, going forward on fourth down and, losing games or whatnot. So special teams definitely, again, you win 2 out of the 3 phases of the game, whichever the 2 is, that can get you, 3 extra victories in a season.
Big time. Like it's interesting. All right, Jackson, get us to break, bro.
All right, we'll go to our final break here. Don't go anywhere. More Dump Punt Hour when we come back.
Early break.
I'm not a dog expert. No, it's not. I don't mind dog. I'm not a dog expert, though.
He does talk to chickens, though. It's very
talked to
endearing.
chicken. Talked to another chicken this past week.
Talk to chickens.
What was that? Do it again.
With Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Now's the best time to lock in early order savings on a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plan for success with the latest technology, including Exact Emerge high-speed planters that help you cover more acres with greater precision and productivity. Order your planter for next year now to unlock the biggest savings of the season. Contact your local Landmark location today and experience the Landmark difference.
If you're working in your yard, remember never to place landscaping structures and fences too close to above-ground electrical equipment. It's unsafe and could cost you financially. Visit les.com for a complete fence and landscaping installation guide.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at LincolnStars.com today before it sells out.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
1221 N Street, Lincoln. CordellCordell.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
Back for one last segment here on the Don't Punt Hour here on another Ticket Weeknights. After this, we'll keep things rolling with the Malone Show, but we'll wrap up things here first on the Don't Punt Hour.
Yeah, DPE, it's funny. We're trying to explain the athletic space that you came from. Right?
Yeah, hearing about it is crazy.
Well, I mean, it shows how programs are built and then how it's changed, because in that space, that if DeMornay will tell you, there was a 6'4", 215-pound receiver in the same pocket, in the same district, who ends up going to Ohio State. There's another flanker athlete who ends up leading the entire country in all-purpose yards in college at Delaware.
You can throw Stephon Diggs in there. You can throw Trayvon Diggs in there. MJ Stewart was the second round. Like it's like again. I mean, this is the area. You can Jalen Tabor, who was probably I think he went to Florida. He after Vernon Hargraves pretty much left, he took over.
Yep.
Yep. It was a dominant area for a lot of athletes.
I mean, to think about it, that and again, DeMornay as a basketball player, him as a football player, he was one of one in that we had several we had 5 military academy dudes on our defensive team, and we still didn't have an answer for DeMornay, like, because we didn't have anybody who could run with DeMornay in open space. We didn't have anybody. Like it wasn't going to matter. Peter Murray, Patrick Halloran, Tyler Wilson, all these are guys are West Point Navy Air Force guys, and we still have no answer. And oh, by the way, AJ Alexander and they're over at Maddox, Caleb with Deshaun. Like
Caleb went toe to toe with Mitchell Trubisky for the starting position at North Carolina.
Yeah,
he literally lost because of 2 passes. Like
Andrew, we had Andrew who ended up at UVA getting playing time as a quarterback at UVA, and we still, if we took the all-star team from Northern Virginia and went across the district and faced like DeMatha and Flint Hill, it'd have been a problem. It'd have been a problem. But this is when I talk about recruiting. When I see a bunch of people talking about, well, this high school senior is going to come in and help Nebraska beat Michigan. No, they're not.
Yeah.
No, unless their name's DeMornay Pierson-El. No, they're not. If it don't look like AJ Alexander, no.
certain roles. I think with Dana taking over things, and his eye again, Dana has some legends at West Virginia, so he has an eye, for talent. Mind you, Tavon Austin was 45 minutes up the road.
Yep.
To be exact. So that's the kind of pool area of pulling from. With Dana being here, I think he could identify certain talent to plug and play that will definitely, make people think secondly or scratch their head. But again, that's just because Dana will put them in a right position to be at for his offense. So with him there, I think changes the dynamic of things a lot.
That's really the thing. And the idea of you and Tavon playing together would have just been frightening at whatever level. At whatever level that was, that would have been nuts. DP, thanks for letting me hang out with you.
Mind you, we had Deshaun Hand, which if you look him up, he was the number one athlete coming out of the 2014 class. That's over Leonard Fournette.
Yep.
That's again. So that's the area, the region, kind of that we were lumped in. And I think he went to Alabama. He pretty much took over after Jonathan Allen. Jonathan Allen.
We didn't even talk about Jonathan Allen.
He was from the area as well.
Good area,
bruh. That's crazy. All right, DP.
I forget about Jonathan Allen, but it was a deep area.
Oh man. All right, Jackson, get us out of here, bruh.
Don't get anywhere. Malone Show coming up next.
Early break.
I'm not a dog expert. No, it's not. I don't mind dog. I'm not a dog expert, though.
He does talk to chickens, though. It's very endearing.
Talked to another chicken this past week.
Talk to chickens.